Welcome back everybody, and what I'm going to be doing today is a kit review on this bit of kit here, which is the Crossfire DG3 Slick. So the Crossfire Packs DG3 Slick. This is a rucksack that these guys have sent me over kindly to have a look at and trial. However, I've already owned a very similar pack to this, and I'll talk about that in a minute. So this is their version of their normal standard DG3 pack, and that one is more military looking. This one, what they've done is they've gone down more of a line of a kind of a grey man style rucksack. It's got no molle webbing all over it. It's less of a military colour. You can see it's kind of a sort of a browny green colour, which is great. It suits, I'd say, more your, like say, your grey man type thing. Also for bushcrafters, preppers, that sort of thing. Possibly even people that are working, doing close protection work, that sort of thing, in hostile environments, because it doesn't scream military as much as some other rucksacks. Yes, it is kind of slightly military, but it's not as, you know, not like a DPM rucksack or whatever. But it's made to military specifications, so it's really tough made, and it's going to stand up to a lot of abuse and be able to carry an awful lot of weight. So the previous version of that then is this one here. This is the standard DG3, and as you can see, it's got all the molle webbing all over, which is great if you're using it for military use, because you can attach pouches and stuff to the outside. You've got molle all down the sides as well, all the way down here, so you can attach pouches and stuff down the sides. That's great. This version, as you can see, it's also got the Velcro patches on the back there, on the top, sorry, so you can whack your unit patches or whatever you want to put on there, your zap patches and stuff. But the main difference really is the fact that it's got this frame on it. Okay, so this, I think it's a polymer frame that they've put on it, which isn't particularly heavy, but obviously it's going to add a little bit of weight. But what this does is it gives it mega rigidity, and it enables you to carry massive loads, a lot of weight. So what they've done is they've gone slightly away from this kind of more military looking one and gone to this one here, which is, as I said, it's kind of more of a grey man type one, which is awesome for, you know, going out and doing your bushcrafting type stuff. So what I'm going to do is I'll go through some of the specifications and that, and then I'll go into the bag and show you how it's kind of laid out, all the features and stuff as you go through. Right then, so the DG3 Slick, it's 55 litres in capacity, which is pretty decent size. You can easily go for 3 days with that, if not more. Loads of space, loads of capacity. It weighs around about 2.2 kilos, which is about the same weight as the other one actually. Reason being is it's got an internal frame, which I'll talk about as we go through it anyway. It's got a really good top lid. It's got basically a 3-layer lid, and I'll go through that in detail. It's got 2 external pouches here for things like water bottles, and you can put flat items in, things like axes, machetes, stuff like that as well, and secure them down with the straps. And as I've said, it's got an internal frame, which I'll talk about in a minute. Really good suspension system. So I'll start going through the actual description of the pack now then. Really well padded back here and lumbar support there. This is really nice and rigid without being kind of too rigid. Lovely padded. You've got the load lifters on the top there, and on the load lifter straps what you've got is the Velcro tidies as well, which I really like, you know, because I end up taping these up normally on most rucksacks I have if they don't have these, so that they're great. You've got a nice sturdy chest strap, and you can hear that positive click there as it goes in, so a great chest strap there, and that's adjustable. What you've got is this Velcro system here, and you basically attach that where you want on the Velcro, and then this sleeve kind of locks it off. So that's a really good system for the chest strap. It's one of the better ones I've seen. So a great feature on the shoulder straps then is this quick release system, which is fantastic. It's the best type of quick release system I've seen on rucksacks. There's a few different variations been on PLC Bergens, which have been crap. The Alice Pack ones aren't too bad, but these are great. So the way this works then, you've got a tab there, and all you do is you take hold of that and just yank it down. There, it's done. Great system. And it's actually really easy to kind of reset it. You just put that buckle back through, the plastic part, and then you've got this bit here that just clicks into place, and then all you do is set the tab back up, put the covers over, and it's done. So great little system that. You've got a really nice lumbar pad there, so great support for your back, and then attached to those you've got these wings that come out with as the waist strap. So the great thing about these then is you can actually take these off, they're removable. So you just pass these tabs through the buckle like so, and you do the same there, the same there, and you can take this whole section off. So if you were carrying belt kit in the military and you couldn't really use this, and you basically just wanted that pad, you can remove those two wings there really easily. So I'm just going to attach that back up. Right, the waist strap then. So you've got a nice big positive buckle there, and you've got the tightening straps that come from the outside in, which is much better than the ones that come that way, because you can actually cinch it down much better with those, so you can get a much better sort of tight fit with that kind of adjustment. And again, you've got the Velcro tidies on the end there. Going from the top of the pack down on the other side then, or well, starting from around this area, you've got a great haul loop. This is really nice. It's well reinforced and stuff, but it doesn't stick out against your neck. It kind of just flops back there when it's not being used, and I really like that. What you've got here then, underneath these Velcro tabs, is this system here. It's got two zips on it. You can open that right up. You can actually access the inside of the Brecon slightly, you know, to a degree there. But what these are for mainly is for the ports here for antennas, or for your hydration system tube. And basically you've got like a little port there, same there. So if you have this down, you've got the option of these two here, or like I say, you can actually open it up to a degree and get inside. So if you had a radio or something with the controls at the top here, you could access that, change the channel, tip that back up, and then you're good to go. So the lid itself then, what you've got, as I mentioned before, is a 3-layer lid, which is brilliant. You've got the top one here that opens up, and it's got like a little organiser pockets in there, which is very unusual on a Brecon this sort of size, so you can put your smaller bits in there just to organise them. And then you've got a central main one here that's quite decent size actually. It's quite big, so you can get all your smaller items in there. I've got like a little dry bag with my hat and gloves and all that sort of stuff in there. Another thing what you've got inside that lid here then is a pocket inside the pocket that's got this like soft lining in. So this is great for things like MVGs, sunglasses, stuff like that. And it's a smaller separate pocket, so if you have got something that you don't want to get scratched away from the other things, you could chuck it in there. You've also got a zip here to access the pocket that's actually underneath the lid there as well, so that's like another section within that section. But all that's great for organising your small bits and pieces in your top of your rucksack, which I love actually. I do that quite a lot. Okay then, going kind of from top to bottom, you've got the big lid I've already talked about. Then you've got the normal sort of traditional closure system with the two buckles. However, with these ones, what they've done, the reason why this little buckle's here is they've made it so it's removable. So you just pass that strap through there, and it's a bit, you know, you don't want it to be able to fall off. It's a bit difficult to do it, but you basically just pass that webbing through like that, and then you can remove that whole buckle. In fact, I'm not going to force that through, but you can take that buckle off, and Crossfire actually give you a whole load of spare buckles and little webbing bits and stuff here within the pack when you get it, so you can actually replace them yourself. You can take a couple of those with you in the field. If you did damage a buckle, you could replace it yourself, which is a great little feature, I think. On most rucksacks, these are kind of sewn down, and you're not going to be able to do that. So I'm just going to stick that back through there. But that's a great little system, that just attaches back up like that. So that's your normal traditional closure. You've got again the strap tidiers there, which are great, and then what you've got is side pockets. These are actually nice and flat, so there's nothing to catch anything on as you're moving through forest and stuff. but what you've got the side pockets here with a little elastic tightening device there, a little toggle. So if you've got something relatively small like this water bottle you can chuck in there, that could potentially fall out. Apart from, they've put that on there to make sure it doesn't, so it's nice and tight. You could obviously also get the strap around that and strap it down. So on the other side, what I've got is a machete. You've got these straps here that you can either, I mean, I could leave that one like that, or if you know you're not going to be using it for a while and you're just tabbing through the ulu, you can strap it down like so. So you can obviously put axes and stuff like that in there as well. Now, one of the main features of this rucksack then is you can access it without having to go in through the top and then pulling everything out. So you've got a central zip here. So you undo the two top ones to access this zip. Then you basically undo this clip, and your kit is all accessible. It's a really good system. Obviously this is a really heavy duty zips to be able to take the pressure and the strain of all your kit in there. But what you can do, for example, I've got my med kit straight away there, so that's really easy to access, you know. And anything that you want to hand, things like your med kit, I've got the water bottle there, waterproof there, Gore-Tex jacket, you know, it's all easily accessible. You can see how easy it makes it to organise your kit, so that's awesome. And what you do have, you have a little pocket there on each side, you've got the same just below it there and there, and then you've got some side pockets that I'll show in a minute. Like I say, that just zips up. Got a really heavy duty zipper there with a really decent toggle on it with rubber that's shrink wrapped around it, and then these compression straps basically just do up like so, and you can just tighten them up just to compress all the load down and then close the lid. So it's really good for your organisation of your kit. So going into the main compartment then, what we've got here then is you've got a semi-traditional opening at the top as well. So what you do have is this, if this is a bit of an unusual toggle here, so it looks really simple and it works really well actually. You just pull on the top there and it opens it right up. If you want to completely unzip the thing, like so, at the moment it's in normal mode here where you just basically go in through the top. If you wanted to totally open that zip up, you've got a little toggle here. You undo that toggle and then you've got a Velcro strip, and then you can just completely unzip it like so, which is, yeah, that's a pretty cool feature really. They didn't have this on the first one that I got. This system here wasn't on the first DG3. It must be an upgrade, I'm guessing. So I've got all my kit in there, you know, I've got my basher, my waterproof, my food, all that sort of good stuff that you take out in the field with you. Right then, so inside of the pack then, what we've got here on these sides are these long mesh pockets here. So these are really good for, again, for organising bits and pieces. I've got right there, they're basically that deep all the way down. So awesome for putting things like, you know, sit mats in there, flatter items, just things you could put your hats and gloves and stuff like that, because you just plant your hand and grab it. So they're quite cool then. And again, they're removable. So you pass this little bit of webbing through the buckle like the other systems, like so. It's velcroed onto, and you can basically just undo that and take it out if you want to, if you're not using that sort of feature and you want to cut down on the weight. Another thing we've got here then is a sleeve for a bladder, and this is massive. This can take up to a 3 litre bladder, so it's enormous. And then what you've got is a strap basically that passes through the buckle, and that's your hanger for your bladder. So that's a cool bit of kit. And you've noticed here you've got all these extra buckles and stuff. You can actually attach, they've got other bladder holders that you can put 2 bladders in this if you wanted to, and you've also got the option of a radio pouch that fits into these buckles here as well, so that's pretty cool. That's pretty much the internal features of the bag there, which I think is pretty awesome for organising your kit. Okay then, so that's the Crossfire DG3 Slick. I think this is a great rucksack, awesome for people that do things like bushcraft, prepping, all that good stuff, because as they say, they've kind of marketed this as a grey man rucksack, which I think it pretty much is. You know, it's got a decent colour that is not going to show up in the woods, but it's not so much an obvious colour like the previous one, which this is an olive green. Okay, so it's more like a browny green. So what I'd say then, pros and cons about the rucksack. Pros, it's got an awesome capacity. It's got this great feature for getting inside and, you know, grabbing your kit without having to go in through the top and pulling everything out to get something at the bottom. That's great. It's got mega organisational sort of features on it as well, so lots of little pockets within the lid, within the actual main compartment as well. The other thing I'd say about it is this carry system is fantastic. It's really comfortable. It carries the load nice and high on your back, and it's really comfortable. And in conjunction with that, also the quick release system is brilliant. It's one of the best ones I've seen, if not the best version of that kind of thing I've seen. Okay, so cons then. The only cons I'd say about this is, firstly, I'm really surprised they haven't put strap tidiers on these straps here, on the compression straps. So they've got them on all the other straps everywhere else. These ones here are always going to be, you know, dangling loose, unless you kind of tuck them away like so. But it's just a shame they didn't stick them on there as well. The only other thing I'd say is, personally, I'd like a little Velcro patch on there myself. You could stick on something like, you know, one of these or something like that. But I understand why they haven't put it on, because they've, you know, gone for more like a grey man thing. So if you are kind of going down that line, then you're not going to be wanting to stick patches on. But for people like, you know, that are doing just your bushcrafting and all that, fair enough. So this is available from Crossfire Australia, and there's also a Crossfire Europe now. I'll put the link in the description. For UK buyers it's £259, so it's not cheap, but for something that's this quality, and it is a mega quality rucksack, you can tell it's just really well made. It's not going to be cheap. So let me know what you thoughts are in the comment section below, and stay prepared.